James, what's the program that I need to use to record this thing?
Sound Studio.
Oh man, this is like asymmetric, James. Hello. It's like Harry's in one ear, Camel's in the other.
Oh, sweet. Hello and welcome to the Fangin Around Show. I'm James. I'm joined by,
Across the table, I'm Fred.
and remotely from the wild wonders of the other side of Perth, Campbell. And from an insanely more distant location, from the wonders of Scotland,
Harry.
And back in time.
So, yeah, if you're listening to this, this is a really weird podcast. Now we've got, thankfully, only 2 time zones now. If we were doing this a couple of weeks ago, we'd have had 3.
Is that a world record for most time zones?
Only if you
So what have you guys been consuming, Fred?
I have consumed a lot of Minecraft recently. It's pretty cool.
Oh, you've gotten into it.
I've gotten into it. Pretty.
The computer version or Xbox?
Just the Xbox version.
Okay.
It's pretty
You
good.
survived your first night?
It was terrifying, and no. I built. I
that's
spawned. Is Harry still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I'll carry on my fascinating Minecraft tale. What happened? I
Please
spawned.
do.
I spawned and I went up and I saw a nice little bay and I thought, I'll build a little house because I'd already done the tutorial. And then nighttime came and it all went to shit and I died a few times and just ended up burying myself in the bedrock for like the rest of the night.
Do you starve?
No, you don't
just bury
starve.
yourself?
No, you just pop out during the day.
Do you have a girlfriend? Just for the listeners back at home.
in the game or in real
In
life?
game
Playing
or in
this
real
all
life?
night.
No, I mean
Minecraft.
virtual night, Harry.
Oh, virtual night, right?
The night in Minecraft, not all night.
No, I like to think Fred spent all real night
In real time.
with his
In real
character
time.
in the bedrock.
Can you play Minecraft in real time?
Like, play it.
Yeah, can you set the server to run at real time? So it's...
Oh, that would just be boring. There's a bed.
So what happens at night? Why do you have to...
All the monsters come out at night, and it's terrifying because you're not very good at attacking them. Yeah, it's really interesting though.
we should set up a Fangin Around server so our South Korean fans can join us.
Just the landscape's pretty amazing. Just the randomly generated terrain. It's just like a world. It's a world. I got really lost.
Fred.
Don't you build the terrain? Isn't that the idea, that you build the world?
It kind of like randomly generates these worlds with like different kind of biomes where some of it's a bit snowy and there's really hilly bits and just forests and stuff. And then you just dig down and mine stuff. That's about it, really.
Sounds enthralling.
Well,
What was the coolest thing you mined? Did you find some copper?
you just dig down and then you come across these huge cave systems and it's dark and you wander around and there's skeletons there and you're trying to kill the skeletons and mine the ore and it's just cool. I don't know. I'm way behind the
they
times.
recently,
Minecraft was huge like 2 years ago.
They recently hit their 7 millionth purchase, I think.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I think they deserve it. It's a good little game.
That's pretty good. Like, isn't Call of Duty sold 14 million copies or something?
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I hate those games now.
You don't play online, man. You don't get online and shoot.
You fucking poofed it, you fucking shoot me, cat. That's what you get online.
That's a down pat impression.
Yeah, that's really what it's like. And then it turns 9:30 in the eastern states and they all have to go to bed and no one's left to play. And I watched The Dark Knight Rises. That's about all the major consuming I've been doing.
Well, we can't.
I don't think we're allowed to talk about that.
Who hasn't seen it?
Me.
Uh,
Oh, Campbell. Don't bother, it's not very good.
Worse than the Avengers.
Harry loved Avengers.
Yeah, no, I think so. I had pretty low expectations going into the Avengers. But I had high expectations because Batman's usually pretty good, and this one was just boring.
what do you mean Batman's usually
No
pretty
story.
good? They're all terrible.
What? Oh, you haven't even seen The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I saw the second and third.
You haven't.
Yeah,
seen
well, the first one's
one.
the best, fool.
Fred, you're terrible.
Whatever.
You wouldn't have understood anything that was happening if you hadn't seen the first one.
The third one was confusing without the first one. But the second one doesn't matter.
Right, but they were a lot of the stuff they're dealing with was stuff that happened in the once. You wouldn't have understood that anyway.
Doesn't matter. It's just Batman doing stuff.
Except he wasn't doing any of the cool Batman stuff. That's the thing. He didn't pick up any ladies. He didn't drive any fast cars. It was just boring.
Oh, there was no Bruce Wayne stuff, you mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was some cool
You
Bruce
watch-
Wayne stuff.
You watch Batman
but he
for
ran
Bruce
out of,
Wayne.
well, spoiler alert, he ran out of money, so...
Oh, thanks. Great.
Yeah, but even
I might as well not see it.
What's the
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's the point in what's the point in making a Batman movie when Bruce Wayne doesn't have any money? What a shit story, like, mechanism. Like, that's just boring. That's the whole thing about Batman. Is
Well,
that
we
he's got
had
some
money in the
cool
first
dude.
two, so now you got to see the arc.
Yeah, but it didn't affect his ability to be Batman.
It affected his ability to be Bruce Wayne and awesome, though.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be watching Batman for Bruce. You want to see some like Batman 4, just Bruce Wayne and spoiler alert, hanging out.
I'm taking my headphones off.
Okay, let's move
Send me a
on.
message
Fred,
when you're
anything
done.
else you can
No, that's about it. I'm going to move on.
All right, what are we moving on to?
Harry, what do you
Harry.
consume? You're in Scotland. I don't
Iron
think we've
Brew.
spoken
I'm in
to
Scotland.
you since you moved to Scotland.
I've been consuming.
Tell the
some real
listeners what you're up
culture,
to.
like-
Why are we on Skype?
Sorry?
Tell the listeners what you're up to. Why have you moved to Scotland?
Just doing cool stuff here in Scotland, and that's about it.
What's the best
What do
food
you want
you've
me to tell
consumed,
them?
Harry?
The best food, or we had a haggis last night. It was
it
pretty
good?
delicious.
Was that
Oh,
your
yeah.
first haggis?
That was our first haggis this trip.
Did you buy it or did you make it?
Have you
No,
finished
we
talking
bought-
about Batman?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about Scotland.
All right.
We're
I
asking
have my
what Harry's
headphones
consumed
on.
in Scotland.
You don't make a haggis, James. You catch one.
I know. But, I mean, did you cook it yourself or did you go to a restaurant?
We purchased it already prepared from the store and cooked it ourselves.
Did you boil it for an hour and a half?
No, I baked it in the oven for an hour
Whoa.
or a bit less.
Baked haggis.
Yeah. Yeah, roast haggis. It's delicious.
Cool.
What's the weather like?
I can find that out before
Well-
Harry. Scotland.
Fred, tell me what the weather's like.
No.
It's been a little bit of raining today. It's been
No, I mean, I'm
Last
not
week-
a weather report. Like what? Like, is it cold there?
About
in
18
summer?
degrees in
Or
the
is it
sun.
cold there? Yeah.
a warm day is 20 degrees, and we've had about 2 of those in 2 weeks. So
So you're in the middle of summer, but it's not that warm.
yeah,
What
we're
time-
getting
what-
more rain than you guys are.
What time,
Your hot August nights aren't that hot.
what time
Well,
does it
doesn't
get dark?
that cold at night. The difference between day and night is only about 5 degrees.
Oh,
So it's like 20 degrees during the day, 15 at night.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
But you just have to wear a jacket everywhere you go because it's cold.
Where are you in? Where in Scotland are you?
Edinburgh?
In the suburbs or central or?
We're pretty central. We're kind of 10 minutes out of town.
Do you have a
West
car?
End.
Do you have a car?
Sorry?
Do you have a car?
Nah. No one has his car in Edinburgh, James.
What, you have cabs?
Oh, no, you just
Or
walk
do you
everywhere.
walk?
We're 10-minute walk out of the centre of town, so to get to the other side of town, it's a 20-minute walk.
What about bicycles?
Our flat's a bit too small to like fit a bicycle in. That's the only thing.
Oh, okay.
It'd kind of have to sit next to the bed or something, or in the spare room.
I went
Yeah,
to.
we don't have like a communal area downstairs. Like you can lock it up in the stairwell or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're stuck.
Although we
with
do,
walking.
but there's already one bike that's permanently like locked there, and it doesn't look like it's been moved in centuries.
Hmm.
So there's no room for another one. I'd like to get a bike. A bike would be perfect.
What's your Scotland highlight so far? Can you
Oh.
understand what anyone's saying?
I can only hear you. Is anyone else speaking?
No, the Scottish Harry.
Harry, I'm Mike, friend. The
Oh.
Scottish. Can you understand what the Scottish is saying? Do you need subtitles?
Yeah, usually. Well, it's not. Well, yeah, we're in Edinburgh and it's like festival time, so half the population is kind of not Scottish. There is a lot of foreigners in town.
Blow-ins.
Are there many Eurasians
Blow-ins.
in Scotland?
There's a lot of Asians.
How do you know if they're
lot of-
Eurasian?
Got a
Yeah,
mix
James.
going on.
Oh, like Asian looking with a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Is that what you're after? I love a Scottish accent.
I would like to see it. Scottish Asian mix.
Um,
That would be
yeah, I haven't
interesting.
seen any.
No.
There's a few Asians in town because they go to university here. But our university hasn't started yet. It's like summer holidays, so I
This is
expect it all to
consumption,
change.
not just like ethno reporting from around the world.
I've got some big race subjects to talk about.
No! Wait,
No,
you say race
James.
or rape? Or if you combine the two, you're
Fred,
out.
you getting carded.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. I accept my card.
So, haggis, that big highlight from Scotland.
Yeah, haggis is delicious. It's just fun. Walking around, seeing stuff, old buildings. We went to the military tattoo.
Oh, was it good? I've always wanted to go to that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Some wicked drummers, all
Yeah.
synchronized drumming and like gun twirling and stuff. It's cool. Bagpipes.
What have you been
So
consuming,
if you're going,
Campbell?
I've been listening to
Other than the Olympics.
other than the Olympics, nothing. Then
Yeah.
I've gotten the Olympic bug, and I've just been glued to the television.
Oh, no.
No, what have I been consuming? I guess I've been listening to a lot of Lauryn Hill, who did the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, that album. Do you remember that? She was in the Fugees as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just been
And?
listening to that album a lot.
She's on
Um,
Sister Act too.
Yeah, you're right. No, Fred's bang on. Sister Act 2. Yeah, just really enjoying it, loving it, and you know, sort of, you know, familiar with that album in the past and familiar with the Fugees, and then I was like, well, you know, whatever happened to Lauryn Hill? I was like, she was going gold, and that album I think was nominated for 10 Grammys.
Yeah,
And
I
she won
remember.
5. It was like a record. She like Fugees are already big, and then she did this breakout album, and like broke down all these barriers between like hip hop and R&B and soul and white audiences and black audiences and young and old, and everyone was loving it. And then she just like disappeared, and she hasn't recorded anything since.
Is she dead?
Like any albums? No.
I think she found religion, didn't she?
Yeah, she became like super religious. She's got like 6 kids. And I think it all really fucked her up. Like all the fame and the industry as well. Like she couldn't negotiate within that industry after that. And yeah, it's such a shame. I was just thinking like, because she, you know, it's really interesting listening to, you know, obviously we all grew up in Perth in Western Australia, and well, you know, Fred grew up in Tasmania a bit as well, but you know, through listening to a lot of hip hop, which, you know, we have, you're really familiar with this sort of, you know, the narrative and the streetscape of those places, you know, like, you know, there's all this idea of the ghetto and growing up and single mothers and, you know, drug dealing and all of that sort of thing. You're really familiar with these tropes, but I mean, this Lauryn Hill album's incredible because it's all, she's talking about sort of like all the same stuff that like Notorious B.I.G. is talking about, but from sort of like a more of an R&B female perspective.
Feminist perspective.
Yeah, that's right. So it's all the same stories,
this
but just
Campbell's
from the
Feminist
flip
Corner?
side, I guess, to the side that you normally hear. And it's sort of like, where, you know, where's that voice now? Because Lauryn Hill, like, that album was amazing. That was her first album to do it by herself. Like, if she'd have kept on making stuff, wow.
Yeah, because I remember that was probably like right when in the middle of high school when that album came out. I remember everyone was like, "Oh, she's gonna be the next big thing," you know. She was
Yeah.
Beyonce before Beyonce was around.
I don't think she was Beyonce.
I think she was better than Beyonce.
Fred doesn't agree.
I don't think she's like Beyonce. Different.
What do you mean?
Different.
Not
One's
as cool.
pop, one's not. I don't know how deep Beyonce gets.
So you don't like Beyonce?
No, I like Beyonce.
You don't like Lauryn Hill?
I like them both. I just don't think they're the same.
I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just saying that was the kind of like hype around her was like
Hype
the same when
wise,
Beyonce went, left Destiny Child to go on her own. There was so much hype around that. And when Lauryn Hill left the Fugees, it was like, oh my god.
Anyway, awesome album. Totally revisit it, guys, because it's amazing.
Maybe I will. What's the headline? Are we moving on?
Well, I was going to say, I was going to talk about the Olympics. It's the Olympic special.
Is it?
It just finished.
Did you check the show notes for it?
I'm looking at the show notes. It just says the Olympics.
And then there's a category underneath.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I was going to go
more explanation?
I wanted to bring this up just so we can go back to Harry, because Harry is in the home of Team GB.
Oh, go Team GB.
Really? It's not.
It's been an amazing campaign. The boys and girls have done us proud.
You've already turned, Harry.
They really have. Oh, yeah.
Don't forget your roots.
I'm not going to support the bloody Australians, am I? They're useless.
What passport did you use to get in the country?
UK passport.
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm going to write to Gillard to not let you back in after that.
she'll send you to Nauru. When you
Off to Nauru with your ass.
Now, the opening... We'll go back to start the opening ceremony.
Well, wait, for those who don't know, what's the Olympics?
The Olympics... the Summer Olympics are an event that happen every 4 years.
I don't know what the Olympics are.
One of the biggest sporting events in the world. Definitely the biggest multi-sport event in the world, I think.
And so everyone competes. There's selected sports across a wide range of disciplines, and there's male and female competitions. And everyone competes for a set of medals, and medals are given to the first the top three competitors or teams. With gold medal being the highest, then a silver, and a third place gets a bronze.
So did anyone
Any
watch
more
the opening
explanation?
ceremony?
No.
Oh.
I did. It's wicked.
Yeah, well, it was done by Scott.
Scott who?
Of course.
Danny Boyle, the filmmaker. He ran the show.
Everything in England that's good was done by a Scot.
Yeah. It's a bit like everything good in Australia was done by a New Zealander.
Yeah, is that a similar relationship?
Isn't there significantly more hatred between the Scot and the English?
I don't know. I'll get back to you once I've
put out the feelers.
absorbed the vibe.
See how much hatred there
I'll
is.
put out the feelers. Yeah.
Do an ethnographic investigation.
Yep. So that's 2.
Maybe I'll take it to the streets on Audio Boo.
Yeah.
Well, having said that,
You see,
he's
I've
actually
got-
born in Radcliffe. Is Radcliffe? That's in England, so maybe he's not even Scottish.
That's where the guy who played Harry Potter was born.
Good one, Fred.
Hey.
He was raised in a working-class Irish Catholic environment by his English father and Irish mother. So, yeah, I was wrong about that, sorry.
So is he Irish?
He just obviously worked with a lot of Scottish actors. I assumed he was part of that whole crew. Anyway, so I did watch some of the Olympics, and he got Underworld to do the music for the score for the thing, and it is just the most epic piece of music you'll ever hear. And I should have put money on it, because I was like, I bet you they're going to put a mountain in the middle of the thing, because the Greeks put a lake, and Australians try to put a coral sea. Are we being a bit too racy, are we, Fred?
Don't know. Censorship.
Should have put money on it. John.
Oh!
Should have put money on it.
We cut. 50 Shades of Grey. We've been usurped. We have to start talking about S&M.
Oh, so 50 Shades is okay, but our talk isn't.
Yep.
So we've been told
What I
to
meant.
tone it down while she's out there toning it up.
Yeah. Hypocrisy.
Anyway, I definitely recommend checking out the Isles of Wonder and just get the main Underworld track. You have to buy the whole album, I know, if you buy it digitally, which is annoying, but it is totally epic, the score that they did for it, and put it up loud and play it. And they have Kenneth Branagh, he was in it, and Mr. Bean. Did you see that? No?
No.
Okay.
What are your top 3 Olympic hotties? I don't have any 3, by the way.
Well, I
Flag
put this in the
there.
show notes. You probably didn't read it. I was like, what's your
No,
what's your 3 that are from the Olympics?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
Have any of you been watching any of the Olympics?
I watched bits of it, but I didn't see any hotties.
I saw 2 rhythmic gymnastic routines.
Oh, all right. Yep. Went for the arts category. Proud of the Olympics.
I
was blown away by what I did see, though.
Yeah, the rhythmic gymnastics is insane. And so is the synchronized swimming, man. The best thing they've ever invented is they have a split screen camera that half is underwater, half is above.
You mean a camera halfway in the water?
Yeah. They, so you can see them, and they do these jumps in the team event. They have these jumps where everyone swims. 7 of them all swim under. Maybe 6 of them all swim under. Then one person is upside down with her feet up, and she uses her feet as like an escalator or like a projectile, which the 8th person stands on top of her feet and gets pushed up as the 6 of them swim up, pushing her up, and then she pushes her feet and flips the girl out of the water. Did you guys see that? It was insane.
No.
I'll have to find a link to a video, I'm sure, at the Olympic Committee's censored YouTube, so you won't be able to see anything at all.
We missed the Australian Synchronised Swimming Championships. They were at Challenge Stadium. But it was in March.
And the girls team did theirs to AC/DC.
Really?
Yeah.
I got a problem with their makeup. It's too much. It's way too much.
They really need some better technology, something they can put in their nose so they don't have to wear those weird badges that make them look like scary dolls.
That's a good point.
That's what they should
Can
really...
you get some like gel which you stick up your nose?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's done any
I hope
research.
Fred, scientists, get this stuff done.
Yep, I'll call up science. Just suggest it. Scientists at UWA. Why aren't we working on this?
Next PhD.
Yep.
So, do you guys have any hotties to...
I didn't watch anything really, so... I heard
lots of
hotties
in the
some
rhythmic gymnastics.
virgin sprinter that everyone's gotten hot under the collar for.
What's she called?
I don't know.
Virgin sprinter.
Oh, Lolo Jones.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's a virgin, and she's kind of exotic.
How do they know that
I
she's
put her
a
up as a
virgin?
runner-up. Oh, no, she talks about it. I think she's Christian and all that. And guys just don't know how to deal with it, so she just stayed a virgin.
That's... You're saying it wasn't her
James.
choice? She couldn't find anyone to bang. I find that difficult to believe.
So I thought I'd get a mix, I thought, you have to have some of the local flavour. So there's a bit of shout out to Jessica Ennis. Did you see it? This is Team
Jessica
G's,
Ennis.
Team
Oh,
GB's Kathy Freeman.
Wonder Woman.
The Wonder Woman. So she is in my top 3 Olympic hotties for 2012. Then I feel like I have to put an Australian in there to represent the
I don't think you have to do that.
stereotypical blonde
You don't have to,
Aussie
James.
girl. So I'm
Acting
nominating...
Like this is some like...
Yeah, it's like a
I-
meal, 3-course
I
meal
have
that
to
you
do
select. So Casey Eastham, hockey player for the Hockey Roos. And I feel like you have to have a token East European basketballer. And I picked out Antonia Mizura, who I think she's from Croatia. I'm not even sure. But yeah, good 3 mix.
You happy with that?
Yep. 3 bean mix.
So no one from Eurasia? Bit offensive.
Well, I think Jessica Ennis looks a bit Eurasian. She's got that look going.
You didn't go for any...
Well, it was tight. There's only 3 places. There were so many Olympic hotties. It was just...
Pentathlon gold.
Yeah, she's pretty... Yeah, the pentathlon, right? No, not pentathlon. Is that the 5 one? Pentathlon?
She's this Lithuanian chick. Now that's
Yeah.
10, I think. No,
it's
5.
Decathlon, yeah. The pentathlon is basically the, event that they put in for soldiers. So it's like shooting, riding horses, swimming, all this stuff that, soldiers
pretty
need
cool.
to survive. And she won.
That's a sport I can get behind.
Yeah. Well, they keep wanting to cut it because they...
No.
Is there... the javelin throwing, right?
Hmm.
Is that just a distance event, or is there a targeted event too?
No, it's just distance.
Just distance.
Oh, but why? Why don't they throw in targeting as well?
yeah, that would be cool.
Because I think
you have to throw it through the Olympic rings.
back when they used to javelin each other, it was just, a line of 1,000 people facing a line of another 1,000 people. So if you could throw it further, you're all good.
Yeah,
but now we don't actually
javelin people.
throw them at each other.
Yeah, so then why would you
Yeah.
need to target?
As a
someone
challenge,
did get hit once. When
I
straight over the leg.
suggest 3 events for the javelin. 1 distance, 1 like a bullseye, and then 1 like clay pigeons. Just see if they can do it. If you build it, they will come. Don't tell me they can't do it.
They can do it.
What sports do you feel should be added
Me?
to the Olympics? Yeah.
I
what do you think?
no. Look, I just suggested 2 things, but I'd cut a whole bunch of shit.
What would you cut?
Yeah, me too.
I would cut
tennis
much
has
stuff.
gotta go.
I would cut most of it.
Why would you want to cut? Wouldn't you just want more stuff?
Yeah,
it
more.
should be the
Cut it
biggest
down.
event in
I'd
the world.
say I'd have rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah.
I'd have running, javelin, shot
Cycling.
put. No cycling.
Oh,
Wrestling.
come on.
Wrestling.
Cycling.
No.
What's
you
the
want to go
theme
back
going
to
on?
back to Athens?
Back
Yeah.
to basics.
Should they be naked?
core
Yeah.
skills.
Naked as
Would the
well?
rhythmic gymnastics be
Yep.
gymnasts be naked?
oiled, and no more medals. Laurel wreaths.
Laurel wreaths, yeah. No
you could
women?
make it out of metal. You could have a gold one still, but
I don't know why they don't do laurel wreaths.
Yeah, why not? That's awesome.
Um,
And they got to bring back poetry.
yeah.
Poetry used to be a thing in that.
In the original or in the early history?
Oh, I think it's been in and out.
It's never in the modern Olympic Games. Poetry.
Well, poetry this
Apparently
year. Apparently,
windsurfing
there poetry
is getting
slams.
the-
Well, they
next
tried to
year.
bring it back this year for the British Olympics, but it didn't go through.
Poetry.
I was listening to a radio segment about the history of arts in the Olympics, and it used to be in the ancient Olympics that the winners of Olympic events, after they won the event, they would then have to do a public speech and present a poem about their victory.
That's pretty cool.
And sometimes they'd get, it sounds a bit dodgy, but sometimes they'd get famous poets to perform on their behalf. So I guess the famous athletes and performers would be able to get the best poets.
Yeah.
And apparently one year, this is documented in the records. One year, this amazing the audience's favorite athlete, it was going to team up with the audience's favorite poet, and everyone was super pumped. And he won the event. And the poet came out and recited his poem, and the audience totally hated it, so they beat him up. They laid into him and beat the shit out of him because they were like, "Boo, that sucked." So
At the 1948 Summer Olympics, they had architecture.
How do
How can you have
How do you
architecture?
competitively architecture?
Adolf Hulk won the gold in the architectural design. In town planning, Ulrich Lundgren of Finland won. In literature, the lyric works was again won by a Finn, Alal Tini. Shockingly, dramatic works were not awarded, but epic works were. An Italian Gianni Strablarich won the epic works category of the literature section of the Olympics. Music, choral and orchestral, a Pole won that. Zbigniew Turuski.
There are signs.
Painting and graphic art, Campbell. This is where you could have come in.
Hell yeah.
Oils and watercolors. Alfred Thompson from Great Britain won. Engravings and etchings was won by Albert de Croix. And applied arts and crafts, shockingly, no gold medal was awarded, but the silver went to Alex de Gamun
How
of
did that-
Swiss.
How did that go
So
down?
were they just no one's that great this year?
I don't know. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page and it says none awarded for gold, but they've got a silver.
Maybe the
The
guy,
guy who won silver also won bronze.
maybe there was a doping scandal.
Maybe he was the only
Yeah,
one who
doping.
entered, and that he was in it, so they gave him the silver and bronze, but he wasn't good enough to get the gold.
That's pretty amazing.
Sculpture, Gustav Norrf of Sweden.
Yeah, see, look, this is all pretty amazing stuff. I mean, yeah, in
Finland dominated the 1948 artistic section of the Olympics, winning 2 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. So there you go, the Finns.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, the ancient Greeks didn't separate like body and creative spirit. It was all sort of the one. So, you know, this notion that we've got this division between sports and arts is a modern kind of construct.
There's also like a really crazy video of going around on YouTube of the evolution of the uneven bars in gymnastics.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to be a lot closer together, so they could sort of flip between them at the same time, and it was really nuts. That's worth checking out. I have to find that link if I remember, put it in the show notes. But
what about BMX? I saw that. I flicked over and they had an ad for BMX. That
I've
sounds
got
like
some
bullshit.
beef. Oh,
How
it's
did they
total.
standardize that?
All right. So what happened? It's an absolute rubbish, right? Every sequence, like the heats, right? They have 5 races. Then you go, if you get through, you go to the quarterfinals, and they have 5 races, and the best of 5 races goes into semifinals, and you have 5 races, best of semifinals. And what do they have for the Olympic match? They just have one
best out
race,
of one.
1 30-second race, and you know, like this is a competition when just one guy could fall over and knock off the whole field, Stephen Bradbury style, and that's it. You know.
Yeah, but that's just fate. You just have to deal with it.
No, but they'll never find out the best person. The best person doesn't always win.
Doesn't matter.
What's okay? Then why don't they have just one event for every round? Why suddenly have 5 races for every round
I
and then
don't
go into the
know.
final and they had just one?
Take it up with the Australian BMX Association.
I'm livid, livid.
Tweet them.
Oh, is there a standardized track that appears at every Olympic Games?
No, it's only appeared once, hasn't it?
Oh,
No, it was introduced in Beijing, but I guess the host country gets to decide.
But it's like the marathon. There's
Yeah.
no standardized marathon track. They just run around wherever they run around.
isn't there?
Yeah, and cycling.
No, it's a different city every time.
Oh, I thought they just ran the marathon like on the track. But
No, they
just
do
had
it
to
through the
heaps.
city.
They go through the city.
Just treadmill.
That'd be cool.
Now, the Dream Team. You guys pumped about the Dream Team?
No.
The biggest draw of the Olympics?
No.
Do you know how about
What's
the
the
name
Dream
came
Team?
The
about?
Spice Girls.
Yep.
Were you guys around? Okay, the reason I bring this up is because I remember, I don't know what it was like in Leederville, Harry, but when I remember going to West Leederville, we and Harry went to the same primary schools, and we turned up and they were just basketball mad. Do you remember this, Harry? Like, everyone was playing basketball, they played
Oh yeah, and they had
basketball trading cards and
Yeah,
stuff.
I remember basketball trading cards.
Yeah. The mid-90s, basketball was the biggest thing, you know? And the pinnacle of this was the 1992 Dream Team at Barcelona, right? Where they had, like, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen. You probably guys...
Scottie Pippen.
You guys recognise these names,
Pippen.
even though you don't
Yeah,
even like
Australia.
basketball.
Yeah, I know Larry
Karl
Bird.
Malone, Magic Johnson, the guy with AIDS.
Yes.
Patrick Ewing, New York Knicks. Chris Mullin, Golden State Warriors. David Robinson, he was my favourite from the San Antonio Spurs. Charles Barkley.
What? These guys are all on one team.
Yeah, and they all...
It was the Dream Team.
Yeah, it was the Dream Team. They reckon the greatest sporting team ever assembled. They went to the Olympics and they beat every team by a minimum of 40 points. But anyway, I was looking at their
Scott
Wikipedia
Fisher has
page,
done it.
right? And I was, you know, the Wikipedia page, and you look at the Olympics, it's quite interesting. They only trained for 6 days before the event, 2 hours a day. And they played some...
2 hours. That's not much training at all.
Well, they're
No.
already like NBL
Yeah.
stars, so they can play basketball. That's not
Yeah,
that's
But
got
they need to
together.
come together as a team, Mighty Ducks style.
You have to be a team, yeah. They played exhibition games against other national teams and also enjoyed the nude beaches and Monte Carlo's casinos. And they dined with the Monaco royal family.
That's how you build up the team spirit.
Yeah.
Um,
You guys want a team build? Nude Beach, number 1.
and they weren't
Creepy.
given a curfew to stop partying because the coach said that he would have to obey it if he had put it there as well. So he didn't want to miss out on all the action. And this is Charles Barkley describing his hotel, the 92 Olympics. In our hotel, you had to have a picture ID to get in there, and we went to the pool on the roof of the hotel. There was like 10 guys standing around with Uzis. So it was kind of funny. It was like girl in bikini, dude with an Uzi. Girl in a bikini, guy with Uzi. People thought we didn't want to stay in Olympic Village because we wanted to be big shots, but it was because we were all getting death threats. They told us this would be considered the great accomplishment of a terrorist group if they could take out the dream team. So, yeah, you know. This was nuts. Also in the 2012 edition, the Dream Team was Kobe Bryant, who is basketball.
Yeah, he's basketball.
I didn't want to say it.
Oh, is he? Is he? If it's factual, if it's
We're allowed to say it if it's factual.
Or just say what are they accused?
It's not
rapists?
factual. He was never convicted, was he?
Well,
Right,
I
yeah,
hope you
because
didn't bring
they
up
paid
the
her
Dream
off.
Team, James, just to sneak this in.
No, there's more coming. Okay, but I'll read the issue. Let's get it right so we don't slander him.
Oh, this is a setup, James.
This is what he said after the case was dismissed and she refused to testify. Obviously, probably she got paid off. And he says, although I truly believe this encounter between us was consensual, I recognise now that she did not and does not view this incident the same way I did. After months of reviewing discovery, listening to her attorney, and even her testimony in person, I now understand how she feels that she did not consent to this encounter. And they
Where's this going, James?
They settled out of court.
Yeah.
They settled out of
Should
court.
we move on?
Yeah.
No, but
What about
okay,
the
that you didn't
Team
miss
GB
the okay, you didn't
cycling
miss
team, dream
the media going wild over Kobe Bryant in Australia. Why?
Because he was banging Stephanie, right?
Yeah, that's
Was
what
he
I
though?
bring up.
Was he banging Stephanie?
Fried rice and Kobe beef got together.
Oh, God.
Well, she says that it's just purely platonic relationship,
Why would you have a platonic relationship?
and apparently,
with Kobe
you know,
Bryant?
everyone was like sending her death threats because his wife is in town, even though I think they're only together for the kids or something. You know?
can't really comment on this.
Right, should
I'm
we move
not
on?
a
Now,
fan of
Stephanie Rice is, lost all her sponsorships, as did Kobe when the sexual assault allegations come out. She got lost all her scholarships for using the FA word on Twitter.
What'd she use?
The FA word? You're not on mic, friend.
Which word's that?
Which word's that? There's lots of them.
Well, you're not allowed to say it. We'll get taken off air.
Can you spell it?
No.
The first letter? F.
Well, how many FA words are there that you
I
can't
could
say?
think of maybe 5 or 6.
No, look, I'll articulate it.
Can you just say what it is without using the word?
No, just say it.
A bunch
No.
of sticks.
Oh.
She said "suck it, faggots," didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's
In
okay.
a tweet.
That's a quote.
So these two outcast Olympians have been hooking up.
Oh,
This is
look,
just
she
a
can
theory
be,
that they just
she can be
met.
cast
Yeah.
right
Like,
out.
they're hanging out in the
shouldn't be
dark corner
representing
of the
us.
Olympic Village all alone.
Suck it, faggots.
Did you just see the
Nice, man.
footage of them
Oh.
together? That was very weird.
She's gross.
No.
Did she lose her Jaguar sponsorship because of that?
Oh, the other thing about basketball is, I was thinking about this. Our best basketball player, right, in Australia is Paddy Mills, who plays for some NBA team. I don't know.
San Antonio Spurs.
But I was watching... Oh, that's right, he does.
Don't ask me how I
Fred.
know. I watched 5 minutes of the basketball.
Oh.
And they said
You're actually right.
that. I believe he's a point guard.
Yeah. And did you see him play? He's pretty good, right?
Yeah, he got.
But he's also Aboriginal. Now, which brings me up... The reason I brought this up, Harry, is remember, this is how we connected back to me talking about primary school and basketball being huge. Fred's
We've got a wine
Yeah.
spillage issue. But continue.
So I remember that year 5 camp we went on, and of course
Yeah.
the kids in our school were.
Clean.
I don't know.
James just pulled old tissue out of his pocket and was
Why
going to
did
hand
you
it to me.
spill wine? I don't have anything to clean.
I don't want you
I gave you the flat glass so you wouldn't spill wine.
Can I use your box? Anyway, sorry. Continue podcasting.
So yeah, 1995. I remember we went to the school camp to Kalgoorlie. And the Wesley Little kids were so pumped about in basketball. They played at every lunchtime and whatnot. And one night we stayed in an Aboriginal community, and we slept in the school library.
Yeah.
And the next day we had the kids a year above us, like the seniors of primary school, challenged the kids in that school to a game of basketball. Do you remember this, Harry? And
I'm having vague recollections.
yeah, and so it was like the city white kids against these, the little, Aboriginal kids that don't even keep shoes or anything, just playing off in this basketball court in the middle of the bush in the middle of nowhere. And it was like one of those, like the movies, like the Disney movie where the big kids come and bully and of course.
Who won?
The Aboriginal kids just annihilated us, of course, and the egos of these year sevens were just absolutely crushed because, they had all these $100 basketball caps and $1,000 worth of basketball card collections, and they were like other things, and they were just totally devastated to lose. But it doesn't surprise me that yeah, I know.
Should.
Did you ever watch The Air Up There with Kevin Bacon?
No.
That was my favourite basketball movie. I know Fred was into Space Jam, but
I'm more of an Air Bud fan.
Highest grossing basketball movie of all time.
Yeah, that was Kevin Bacon. He went to Africa or something to find some, recruit some cool dudes to play basketball.
Hello?
Classic movie. Also, I was thinking about, Patty Mills, he's insanely good. I was thinking about how race affects things. Like, Fred, I was going to ask you, or Harry, why do the Kenyans and Ethiopians just dominate the long distance?
I believe some of it's genetics, as in they're just tall, lanky, and they're built for running.
Yeah.
I also think that Kenya and Ethiopia are very high mountainous areas. So it's like you train running around up on a mountain. There's less oxygen, so your body gets more red blood cells. And then when you go down to sea level, you're just you can perform so much better.
So even if you were...
it's like why people go out to the mountains.
If you were Australian, right, but your parents were Kenyan, you couldn't just automatically jump on the Australian team and become good. You would have to go to Kenya and train up in the mountains to...
I don't know. Yeah, I'd say yes. I think the mountainous thing is an advantage over the rest of stuff.
And they always
I think
talk
they're also
about,
genetically
yeah. So you might be
as well,
better.
that sort of.
And only one white guy has ever gone under 10 seconds in 100 meters sprints.
I think that is genetic.
That's genetic.
Yeah, it's like fast.
Well, if you see the
and slow
lineup
muscle.
for the 100 meter sprints, they're all dark skinned,
Yeah.
and the women's as well.
Although Sally Pearson, our white Australian girl.
That was hurdling though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's still running.
I don't know.
Nah, that's running and jumping, James. That's different.
So what you're saying, it's not, the different genetics for being able to run and jump.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. There's also not many black swimmers.
A Russian woman came third in the marathon. White Russian woman.
Oh, really? Okay. I was just saying, I saw there's 2 black swimmers in the whole Olympics.
Yeah, that's a bit awkward. Race in the Olympics, I think.
It just seems like if you don't have a chance. I sometimes wonder why do any of these other? Well, I guess you said a Russian woman came third in the marathon, but in the 10,000 meters, why either bother entering if you're not a Kenyan or an Ethiopian?
Because you might win.
If they all fall over.
Bradbury them? I don't know.
Don't you just feel like you just can't do that sport? It's just, it's like a whale trying to fly, but you don't have wings, so...
I don't know. Next topic. 100 years of the green and gold. Why do Australians compete
we
in
adopted the green and gold in
what?
1912, so this is the 100th anniversary of wearing green and gold as our national colours instead of...
Isn't it wattle and the leaves of wattle?
Yeah, that's what people think, but no one really knows. But, what other countries do you know of that compete in a
Brazil?
a colour that's not on their flag?
I
think that the Netherlands, right? They always wear orange.
Yeah. South Africans? They're green and gold as well.
But their flag is green and gold, isn't it?
I don't know.
Isn't it black?
Oh, it's all multicoloured, yeah. I can't remember.
Black, green, and gold.
Oh, yeah. They got green and gold. I don't know. Does it matter?
No,
But
it's an interesting tidbit. I thought.
It's on our national crest, though. It's close enough. Whatever his emblem.
Now, science for any occasion, Fred.
Yep.
I got to see a Falcon 2000.
What's
I've
a
seen it
Falcon? What's a Falcon?
It's a plane, Dassault Falcon 2000. It's a plane,
Okay.
like a private jet.
Yep.
And to keep it, to know that it's level, you know, they have sensors, right? But instead of having like a big gyroscope, they have these things called ring laser gyroscopes.
Yep.
And my uncle's trying to explain to me how it works, but I guess it's got a laser going around a circle or something.
Yep.
And it works out whether you're level based on this light going around a circle?
Yep.
So how does that work?
So you got two lasers going around in the circle in opposite direction. And then when they meet up, and then they both exit, and when they meet up, you'd get...
Like in a figure eight or something?
Do you want me to draw a diagram? I know it's not going to be useful for the listener.
No, it's not useful.
Well, I can explain. So they go around... So one laser goes around like clockwise, and then...
In the same tube?
In the same tube, a bit of optical fibre comes in and goes around.
Do they collide with each other?
In a sense, and the other one comes in this way and goes around, and then they both pop out here and they both pop out here. So if you look here...
Where do they pop out to?
So they both come out where they've gone in. They kind of all overlaps. And if you look out here, where they both come out at the same time, they interfere with each other, and they basically will either add or subtract, like they'll interfere constructively or destructively. So you'll see either twice as much light or zero light, depending on basically the length of this and how it's all set up. And then what happens is as you rotate the ring laser gyro, because of the different transit times now of these lasers, basically
Why is it a different transit time?
Because if you think about as the light propagates around the circle, if you rotate the circle as well, it takes slightly less time for the one that's going against the direction than the one that's going with it. Or maybe it's the other way around.
Is that kind of like an escalator when you're going up and you...
Yeah, so imagine running on a moving platform, and someone's running in the same direction it's moving. So it takes less time for them to go around, whereas if someone's running against the direction it's moving, it takes them a longer time to go around. So then that gives you these fringes, and then as it rotates, like the time difference between the two is related to the rotation speed. And then basically you measure the fringes as they go past. So you measure the light and dark, and that gives you basically the angular velocity of the thing.
So what spins the tube?
Nothing. Well, whatever. Nothing spins it. It's just as you rotate it, the lasers,
So you're saying that it's rotating when the plane turns, banks.
So if it's in the plane of the table, you have to rotate in that plane. So if you have,
I'm talking about like
this,
an actual aeroplane.
Yeah. So if you have it like flat, like a donut in front of you, it's as you rotate like left or like around, it works. So if you want to have it up like this axis, then it's like back and forward. You can tell. So then you just measure that and you integrate. You count how much it's rotated and you measure that, and then you can tell what sort of angle you're on.
Don't get it. Did you get any of that?
Did anybody else understand that?
They're not even there.
No, they're too bored by my ring laser joke.
I'm back.
So I'm back as well.
Oh, you've all cut and bailed on me. Well, you missed out.
No, my Skype was cutting out. So I hung up and then hung back on again.
Okay.
How convenient.
I was on the
you
phone.
missed it. Well,
It was very inconvenient actually because I was enjoying hearing about how a laser gyroscope works.
yep.
Yeah,
Basically,
something about a gyroscope.
it's just two lasers going the opposite direction, and measures rotation.
Diagram.
So instead of a spinning ball, it's just two lasers.
And just,
So getting overexcited by ring laser gyros.
also, the other big event that happened in the world, other than like the Olympics and stuff, was the NASA's or rover thing, Curiosity, landed on Mars. Did you guys watch the landing live?
I did.
I did not.
Fred,
There was a lot of buzz though.
I thought the physics department would be, big screen, lecture theatre going for...
Oh, because what was the live stream like, Cam? I thought it was like a black and white nothing.
No,
Or
the
was it-
live stream was amazing. It was
Wasn't
like
it-
one of the most exciting events I've seen.
Oh, should have watched
It was just in the
Fred, I can't believe you didn't watch it. I'm
Curiosity
sure.
rover.
I would have thought the science department would be having screenings of it.
It's engineering, not science.
Oh, the robot has a laser.
Well, the landing team's engineering, but the landing team's the engineering team's landing a science platform.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
It has a laser, Fred.
Everyone was talking
Curiosity
about
rover has a laser and fires stuff at it.
it. Yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. I like the LHC.
Can't believe you're so
If I had to
down.
pick science moment of the past month, I'd go LHC, Large Hadron Collider, over Mars rover. But that's just my personal.
But didn't you say it was boring because it just confirms something that you already knew?
Yeah, but that's going to... So the Mars rover's just like hasn't done anything yet.
Right, but
It didn't explode.
right, but do you know why they're still sending rovers there?
Because they got nothing better to do.
No, because when we sent when the Americans sent the original Viking lander there, right? They dug up a bit of soil, and they put some acid in it, and they got, I don't know, carbon dioxide or methane out, suggesting there's something living in it. Right? But then
Yeah.
they said, oh, that's impossible. Right? And so it wasn't until later on, so they stopped sending stuff to Mars because they're like, oh, well, it's obviously a dead planet. But the guy who did that experiment has been campaigning saying, no, there must be life on Mars because I got this result in the test on both landers. And then Then they find some microbe in a meteorite, and they suggest that could have come from Mars. So then they're like, "Oh, we've got to go back and look for stuff." So now they're sending more stuff over there, to see if there's little bugs crawling around under the ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty much like the coolest thing as a civilization we've done.
Apart from the Large Hadron Collider.
No, I reckon this is cooler.
No, I don't think it's cooler.
I think it's cooler.
No, but the Large Hadron Collider announced something. If this finds life, it'll be cooler.
Okay, so if it succeeds,
So if it finds life, it's cooler.
Yep. I would rate it higher than the LHC.
Okay, so it's got to do that.
Yep.
it's got to prove itself.
Yep.
But the Large Hadron Collider's got more announcements to make. It could find something else cool.
That's true, Harry.
Well, Mars rover, who knows what it's going to find? No one
It's
even
on.
knows what it could find.
Throwdown. Who's going to be the coolest?
Who's going to be the cool kid on the block?
At the big physics conference.
LHC or the Mars rover?
I saw a news headline, I didn't read the article, that the LHC people were just a bit down on the rover stealing their thunder.
I think that was kind of made up, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think it was an
Might have been
Onion
the
article where they were saying,
Was it? I don't know, I saw the thing.
It's just engineering. We've done it all before. It's not even that impressive.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, well,
that's
at least
pretty
you
much
can
what Fred
see.
said,
At
wasn't
least
it?
you can see the Curiosity rover. What the hell's a Higgs boson?
Should send it into that rap battle song.
I got a quiz for you.
Yep.
How many gigahertz is the computer that they're using on this device?
Am I supposed to know that?
Yeah, and for reference, an iPhone is 1 gigahertz.
0.5 gigahertz.
Harry, what's your guess?
20 gigahertz.
Sorry?
20.
20.
Oh, how many gigahertz is an iPhone?
An iPhone is 1 gigahertz.
All right, I say 1. I say they've just strapped an iPhone for this thing.
Campbell?
A quarter.
Of gigahertz?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think Campbell's probably closest. It's 0.3 gigahertz, 300 megahertz.
Yeah, but someone told me about why they do that a while ago.
Right.
And the reason that this person said was because in space there's lots of charged particles flying around.
And radiation. Yeah.
And radiation, and it's actually, there's atoms and things out there that you don't see in space. So if you make a computer on the scale that they can make the best computer today, it has to be really tiny is what makes it fast. And what happens is it's so small that a particle can come through, and they just shoot through everything and hit one of the wires and blast it apart, and there's your computer gone. Whereas the slightly older technology is bigger. One, it's been tested thoroughly. It's a bit bigger, so it's a little bit more resistant to being smashed to pieces by these stray particles.
But I think that's also the thing. It's been tested and so thoroughly
and
understood.
they know it. There's no bugs and there's no nothing.
Right. I get that, but we've had gigahertz computers since. I don't know. I had one in 2002, maybe.
Yeah.
Why can't they just put, a more powerful computer in a slab of lead?
Because they might not need it.
They probably don't need it.
Like,
and
they
it'll be
probably
way a
look
shitload.
at what they need,
Yeah.
what processing power they need, and they just give it that much. They don't need any more.
And
They
it's
seem to
probably
spend
not.
a lot of time engineering stuff based on the limitations.
This is my
what's-
problem with NASA, because what they do is they spend 10 years and $2.5 billion to to make one really 90%, 99% guaranteed to work rover. Whereas what they should do is make 100,
Like
20% likely to work. So, and then just fling them out into space.
Yeah.
And so you cover so much more ground. And like some of them will blow up. Who cares? Because you just, just do it that way. More exciting.
Yeah.
More
what?
crashes,
Not
everyone
more
loves a
exciting
crash.
than $2.5 billion on one landing.
Yeah.
Like
All
one
coming. That's
6-minute
why
landing. There's nothing more
that
exciting
landing
than that.
is so intense. Watching it live is this is just $10 billion, $2.5 billion comes down to this sky crane mechanism, right? That has to
It's
lower
not
this
like
vehicle
people
onto
say
the
it's
ground.
cost $2.5 million, but it's not like they've
Billion.
They've put that money into space, literally. Like the money just goes back into.
Right, they pay people.
They pay people who spend it on stuff, who buy taxes.
Yeah.
So it's,
No, but if if that crashed, right, the engineering team probably gets a couple of month extension to report why it crashed, and then you're fired.
Yeah.
That's the end of your job.
like the English one that crashed because they couldn't convert. I think it was English, wasn't it? They couldn't convert between metric and imperial units, so it slammed into the surface of Mars at someone.
Yeah, and that's it. Boom.
Boom. Fired.
You've spent 5-6 years working on it, and your future, your mortgage is dependent on having a job, analysing the data afterwards, but it gets no data back, and boom, you don't have that job.
Yeah. Should have blown up. Listener mail. We on to that?
What, is any other thoughts about the Mars landing?
Like I
How
said,
many
probably the most
megahertz is the main
exciting-
camera?
One of the most exciting.
How many-
televised
sorry,
things
mega-
I've ever seen.
How do people measure cameras?
Megapixels.
Megapixels. How many megapixels is the main camera?
I don't know.
1.
2.
0.3.
Harry wins. 2 megapixels.
So you don't need more than that. Apparently, 'cause
no, but there was a big disappointment, right? Because James Cameron, right, wanted to send one of his 3D cameras up there to film,
they should have done that.
right? But they couldn't get it. What happens, right, is because he wants the zoom lens, and they're worried that that the zooms, because they're in a really cold environment, they'll get jammed because you need a lubricant in there. They're worried the lubricant will freeze, and then you have to put a heater in to warm up the lubricant so these zoom lenses will work, right? But then that's already
That's too much.
already
power.
used the power up in other
Yeah.
areas of the spacecraft that they have, and it's it's nuclear power, but it only generates so many watts, and it just trickle power charges the batteries overnight.
Does it have a solar component?
No, this is all radioactively.
So they know how long it's going to go for. Because like with the previous rover was solar, and it just kept going and going and going and going, right? It far exceeded the life
The limitations
expectation, right?
of that is the actual batteries wearing out. So the batteries get weaker, they don't hold as much charge, so there's less you can do over time. And that's the same problem they have here. The thermal generator will keep putting out the same amount of output for 14 years. So they've got 14 years worth of power, but the batteries will probably die out before then, or dust will get into all the components. And
You think they could just go straight off the nuclear power? But I'm sure they know what they're doing more than
well, they probably could rewire it. If the batteries fail, they might be able to do that.
they should be able to.
They'll have lots of backup plans, but that's what happened to the Spirit rover, which died. Is dust just got jammed into the things, and it couldn't maneuver properly. So that in the Martian winter, when it had to angle its solar panels towards the sun to get just the barest amount of sun, so that when it needed to wake up in the Martian summer, 6 months time, there was still enough charge to restart the computer and restart the heaters and stuff like that, to keep all the things working. But because it couldn't maneuver to that position, it died over the winter. And the one on the other side of Mars that they landed is still going because that hasn't jammed up. Well, at least the wheels haven't jammed up. The arm has, but the
They're going to meet up?
no.
Boring. Typical NASA.
Is it like Voltron?
Yeah,
If it isn't,
up, yeah.
if it isn't, I'll be
Because
disappointed.
those two could go and rescue the third.
That was one of the coolest thing about the moon landing, is like one of the manned landings, they went and landed right next to one of the old robotic landers, so they got to see inspect what a thing that had been sitting on the moon for a few years looked like.
What did it look like?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I've seen photos, but I'm not trained on.
Build it up and
Listener mail. Okay. So we've got a bunch of listener mail.
I'm still insistent we have to read out every listener mail.
Right. Okay. The question is, okay, we've got one piece of listener mail that's a bit controversial. Have you guys checked it out?
No, I didn't know we could check it out.
It sets up a moral conundrum, right?
Where is it?
Well, it's in the email.
You're censoring us. Where's the email?
Fred's getting excited. So what happens if we start getting fan mail from women?
Is this really going to happen?
Well, we've got some mail, Fred.
Oh, really?
You three single blokes, your
I'm not
better
single.
halves,
Oh, what?
non-single folks, your better halves might not approve seeing.
Well,
Is it of the Invisible Woman?
how do I check my email to see this?
Is Zoe listening?
No, I don't think she's listening. My phone would have gone off by now if she was listening.
Okay.
Beep, beep.
This is from Brizzy M. Wait, no, this is not it.
How do I see this, James? No, because James is a
Well,
well-known...
you can interpret if this is spam or not.
He's a
but I
well-known
don't.
censorer of information.
And and I know we've actually got some other fan mail, and I know I should be maybe reading that first because it's more relevant, but I just feel like we have to talk about this. Dear Fangers, and in brackets she says, do people call you that?
Can I just pause for a second? I haven't received this email.
It's in the mailbag at fangaround.com.
How do I get into that?
Why no new episodes? Just got into your podcast and now it's stopped. I listened to you in bed. I have a little incentive for yous to keep making more shows. There's more where that came from. Love your Brizzy. And it says, P.S. What's your favourite Disney movies? But it's the photo attached to the email. That really is exciting. Do you think someone's having us on? Fred's having a good hard study.
I don't know what to think.
Let's talk on mic. Are you guys looking at the email?
James, how can I find this email? Can't you just send me an email?
Yeah, can you forward this to us? I'm at my fred@fanginaround.com address, so can't you just forward...
No, well, it goes to the communal one.
What's the communal one, and what's the thing?
I didn't even know we had an email.
Every episode, I'm like, how do you think people have been emailing us?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you meant to tell us these things, James.
Where would you like it forwarded?
Can you... No, I want to get into the mailbag. How do I get into that?
I'm telling you up front that if your girlfriends find this in your email account, they might get a bit worried.
No, because you're going to censor it things.
Forward it to me. Forward all of them.
Yeah, forward all of them, James.
Oh, I didn't want to forward this one and get you guys in trouble.
Oh,
Just
You
this
could
is
have checked it
censorship.
yourself. It's not like
This is classic Pontifex
you guys
censorship.
have access. No, you have access. You guys
I
just don't
can't-
bother.
I don't know how to get into mailbag. How does it work?
How do you think? I'm not going to say on the air, otherwise other people, scrupulous, will be able to get in.
I want to communicate more with fans. Not because of that. Not because of that.
Because of
I was
that.
thinking about this before.
Because of that. Okay. Her PS is, what is your favorite? This is her question, I guess. What is your favorite Disney movies?
I like Beauty and the Beast.
Fred, that's what you're saying. Beauty and the Beast.
it's got to be old school Robin Hood with the animals.
With is it Baloo in
That's
that?
the greatest.
Baloo,
Yeah, with Baloo.
he plays Friar Tuck or something.
Yep. Jungle Book.
What about you,
Robin
Campbell?
Hood.
Is Campbell even there? He's gonna have to have a wank. To
Little Mermaid / Beauty and the Beast. No, Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid.
No. Yeah. I'm a Little Mermaid guy as well.
That's good.
That's something.
I never got into Little Mermaid.
No, I didn't like it.
Wasn't a fan. It's a girls' movie.
Do you think Robin Hood's the most macho of Disney?
Yeah, I think so. For sure.
Probably agree.
Well, thanks, Brizzy M. Also, I don't even know how old she is. This could be going to jail. Thanks, Brizzy M, for writing. I hope you're 18. This comes in. Okay, so Ricky A. Shea on Twitter asked us. He said, "You guys were discussing games involving moral decisions, and you completely left out the Fable series."
I've never played Fable.
I agree. When we were talking about it, I was thinking about Fable as well. I never played Fable 1 or Fable 3. I played Fable 2. I really enjoyed that, and that did have really big moral decisions. But these guys, I don't think have ever played that.
No.
Now, Campbell, I sent you a copy of The Walking Dead. Did you get a chance to try that out?
I haven't yet. No, I have downloaded it. But...
I haven't had a chance to play it either. But yeah, Fable 2 has a pretty epic moral decision. I don't know whether we should spoil it on air, but
we should not.
What, you're going to play it for?
No, I'm just thinking of our listeners.
Well, I'll big spoiler alert. For the next minute, we're going to talk about Fable 2, what happens. I'll see what your thoughts in. At a point in the game, basically you get to decide whether... I might be getting this wrong, but I think it's like everyone else in your world, like your town, dies, but your dog stays alive. Or your immediate family, maybe includes your wife as well, like your wife and your dog stay alive. Or you let your family and your dog die, but everyone in the world lives.
Isn't there that D-Day thing that you were talking about before?
It was a bit like that, I guess, yeah. But this was a moral decision you had to make in Fable 2.
And? Which did you decide?
I think I chose my dog and my wife and let everyone else die.
Wouldn't that be a bit of a boring game after that?
Right, but everyone else repopulated the world, and the world was slowly repopulated after that. It was a bit weird, but...
Okay.
Yeah. I could be getting that completely wrong. It's been years since I played it, but something those lines. And the final listener mail, which I thought I would use as question of the week. This is from Ricky from England.
Can I just... is this all of our fan mail?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that the sound of the Scottish truck? Does Harry live on a highway or something?
Do you have your window open, Harry? Are you in a bus depot?
He's tweeting on the road, I'm
that's
sure
just
of it.
the buses going outside the window.
What level are you on?
What?
What level floor are you on?
Third floor.
Third floor, okay.
This room doesn't have double glazing though, so it's a bit loud.
What? The window's closed?
Yeah.
That's how loud it was. Wow.
We're on the top floor.
Oh, okay. So this is from Ricky in England. Hey guys, did you ever get the show Bernard's Watch in Australia? It's about a kid who had a watch that could stop time, and of course mischief prevailed. But what would you do if you could freeze time?
Like that movie, Watch Jumpers?
Yeah, something like that. Overclockers or something.
I
took Liz Day on a date to that
of,
film.
The Twilight Zone.
What? You what?
Where a lady had a...
You took someone on a date to that
and
film?
she could say, shut up, and the world froze.
I don't remember that.
What was this, Campbell?
It was either an episode of Twilight Zone or Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories or Incredible Stories.
Mm.
Well, what would you do? Hello?
Hello?
I'd probably steal things.
You would steal things?
You'd use it for evil.
What would you steal? Like to get money? Or
You
artifacts?
steal things now? Like,
yeah.
Just steal everything.
Well,
So your morals would go completely out of the window.
Freezing time. Nothing.
Fun?
You could be an amazing sportsman. You could dominate the
do
javelin.
heaps of good stuff.
How would you dominate a javelin? Wouldn't they be able to tell that you're cheating? Because the javelin just appears on the other side of the field?
No, I don't think it's going to do that. But you could just, like, perfectly guide your throw.
What, by stopping and starting time every things to recorrect your...
I don't know. It's the mechanics of it's difficult.
So your morals would go completely out the window, Campbell, if you had this technology.
Oh, look, once you break down, the human experience of time, I think morals kind of
Just go.
get a bit wibbly-wobbly,
Yeah.
then, don't they?
Well, maybe yours do, Campbell.
So you
So
would
what
go to
does
the
it mean to
women's
be
change rooms of the
human
Australian
if,
synchronized
you know,
swimming
if
team
your
and freeze time and
perception
walk
of
in.
time is
Have
so
you-
malleable.
Seen this post?
Well, that's a really kind of poor excuse for throwing your morals out the window, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with Harry.
Maybe I just can't
What
think
happens
of
if you got
anything. Maybe I just can't think of anything good to do with freezing time.
I read an offensive post on something like 4chan or Reddit about what someone would do if they could freeze time.
What did they say?
Basically, they'd become a porn star,
Hmm.
and then at the end, when they're about to ejaculate, they'd do it, right? And
Hmm.
they'd wait. They'd freeze time at the end. And then they'd wait a few minutes or however long, and then
Yeah.
they'd do it again,
And,
And then
just
they
blew
pause.
people's minds.
and then they just keep going. And for the rest of their life. So it'd be like this hour-long cum shot, and they'd age like 70 years over the course of it.
And people would be watching you age.
And they'd be filming it. And so
in
you'd
that
be
film.
aging and continuously
And so you're
ejaculating.
creating this work of art that's being filmed and just this constant stream of ejaculation
Yeah.
for
It'd be
70
like your
years.
youth was coming out of your penis.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
Yeah.
Just,
And it's
Wow.
huge part
You
of-
would blow people's minds
Aged
with
cum.
that video.
That's
Campbell,
not what.
why didn't you think
That's
of
not
that?
what I do, but
Did you see that
Yeah,
thing
I
on
don't know
Reddit?
why.
I think it was yesterday that porn star reading like a book while sitting on a vibrator.
that doesn't sound that out of control for the internet.
No, it's safe for work because you don't see anything. She's just reading a book, and I guess the vibrator's on the table. You just see her getting more and more excited as she reads it. So it's purely the oral pleasure of listening to her read the book.
Like-
As she gets more
Oh,
excited.
she's reading the book out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she was just like sitting-
Stoya, her name is Stoya. If you Google Stoya reading a book with a vibrator, you'll probably find it.
Stoya reading.
So what would you do, Harry, if you could freeze time?
probably just get more in the day. More stuff done.
Boring.
Give the house a good tidy. Cook something really nice for dinner.
But the thing is, if you're still getting aging at the same time, right?
Yeah, so how long
Oh,
would you
you're
drag
still
this
aging
day
at the
on
same
for?
rate.
Harry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really helping
you-
you at all? Wouldn't it? Because that's the only thing.
Oh, well, if you're still aging at the same rate, then that's different.
Yeah. Because that's
I think
the thing is, I want to slow down my aging so that I see more of the future. When the next Mars lander goes.
So you want to be able to speed up time? No, but then if you're aging at the same rate, it'd be
No,
huge
but yeah,
mistake.
speed up same time so you just see like
Yeah,
life's
you
on
wanna speed up
fast
time.
forward. But see, if you keep
So you wanna,
pausing
like,
time,
go to
you get
bed,
older and
speed up
older,
time
so
a
you
lot.
won't see as much as you would if you weren't pausing time.
You should travel close to the speed of light, James. Then your problem will be solved.
Yeah.
I'd just use it for making sure I'm on time to appointments and just handy little things during the day.
You
I
wouldn't
want to
become
cross
like
the road. Stop time.
Do you think you would get addicted? You'd be
I'm
always
late to go and see a
pausing.
show.
Like,
Stop time.
you could play ping pong, and become a world champion. Something with these fast reflexes, you could just dominate.
I remember you, Harry, playing as a Baldur's Gate, and you're always pausing to do stuff. But you never got
Yeah,
to
that's
see
how Baldur's Gate
the
worked.
natural flow of the game because you're always pausing to do stuff. But I assume that's how it
No,
works.
but
that's
the
how.
pausing
that
was the flow of the game.
Oh, okay. So it automatically paused, or you choose when to pause?
You choose when to pause. Or was it automatically paused? I think you could choose whether to automatically order.
Yeah, you could choose various triggers that would pause the game, or you could pause it yourself.
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
it's like D&D turn-based system, but they also made it in real time. It was a kind of hybrid.
It would be kind of cool for teleportation. Say if you're like, there's some event going on, and you're like, oh, that would be awesome to go see, but you're like, oh, there's no way I'll get over through traffic to go see that now. So you could pause time and sort of effectively teleport, even though you're traveling real time, but you could get to see events that,
You guys are thinking really small, though.
Yep.
What would you do? Like walk on the surface of the sun?
Yeah, you could freeze it, right?
Yeah.
Would it be hot? No,
Dunno.
because it's not moving.
Yeah, but how would you get up there? You would have to get a rocket that's not frozen either.
Yeah, well, that's what doesn't make any sense. But I guess that's the point.
I mean, that Overclockers movie, whatever it was, isn't that it just slowed down time, so it was like you could see the hummingbirds
Yeah,
wings
so it was
slowly
the thing.
flapping.
Yeah.
So the time was still moving.
Clock stoppers.
Clock stoppers. But no, we didn't get Bernard's watch as far as I know in Australia. But Yeah.
Got Alex Mack.
Could she freeze time?
What could she do? Could she just turn into a puddle? It's pretty lame. What about... Did you guys ever watch that show where they're in like that weird dimension and they shoot... They have like the things where they touch their wrists and they shoot the fireballs at each other?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I can't Spellbinders.
Spellbinders. That's the one.
Spellbinders. Oh, yeah.
So you guys would only use it for, like, making sure you don't, I don't know, boil over this, like, pot of pasta or something.
No, what was your big...
No, I would say I would go... I could... If you're saying, like, Fred was saying that the Australian women's synchronised diving team was competing in Perth, you could go just freeze time, go see what's happening in the change rooms, you know? Just see what they're up to. Who would know?
You little pervert.
So you just want to creep around?
Well, that Campbell says the morals go out the window.
It's like in The Invisible Man with...
time.
Oh, so you do whatever Campbell says. If Campbell said he wanted to jump off a cliff, would you stop the time? Would you do that too, Jim?
But what if they put you in jail? The ability to stop time would be useless.
Right, but if you could escape jail by stopping time.
Yeah, I suppose you could just walk out.
Unless they took your watch off you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, do you need a watch to do it?
Well, in the example that Ricky was giving us, Bernard had a watch, I'm guessing.
See, I imagine I could be much more effective doing what I'm doing in my daily life if I had the ability to stop time and kind of change things about every
Yeah, I mean, that my teleportation idea
But
would
that
be,
wouldn't
you could apply
extend-
that to so many things.
I think you just waste it all, Harry.
Sorry?
You just waste it all. Because you'd be like, every
I'd
5
fall.
minutes, you'd just pause time for 5 minutes, and then you're looking 40 and everyone else around you's just looking 30 because you're constantly pausing.
So, Cam, if
But I
if
already
you
look
got the
about
power
5
right
minutes
now,
anyway, so...
Can't hear Harry. Harry, what'd you say?
I already look really young, so I'll be alright.
I could pause time and then grow a beard, and then I could unpause time.
I don't think you'd ever grow a beard, Fred.
you didn't get really bored just sitting there
You
for a
can't
month?
pause time for long enough.
We were talking about your hair just yesterday.
Thanks. What were you saying?
Or your lack of eyebrows.
Get a new topic.
No, but Campbell, so if you got the power today, how long would you do any research into how to steal stuff with your power, like planning at all, or would you just go do it right now just in case the power ran out, you know, at any time?
Oh, I'd probably tool around with the power first.
Mm.
You know, test the parameters of it for a while.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
Start
idea.
with little things.
But would you hit a big bank first, or would you trying to find a those armored trucks as they open the door and just pause and just duck in and
Yeah, any of those options, you know?
Do a bit of a Groundhog Day.
Yeah, you know, just goof around. See what you could do.
Hmm.
I mean... Oh, I don't know. Why wouldn't you?
Because it'll have a profound negative effect on someone else's life.
Would it, though? I don't think so.
You just Robin Hood it, steal from bad
Yeah,
people.
well, you know, you could get into a bit of that action.
Go break into Gina's house and take her.
Well, you know, if you knew Tony Abbott was going to be in town, if he was there, you could pause time and then, like, while he's in a press conference, take all his clothes off.
That would
And
be
then
awesome,
unfreeze time, and then he'd be naked all of a sudden.
But then questions would be asked. You know?
I know.
There'd be like some... They'd come after you.
you could
I know.
really screw up
Cool.
people's lives.
You could just start doing that. If maybe if you
Messing
did it
with them.
enough, it would just become
It's
normal.
like, you know, Emily in the movie where she kept on changing that guy's shoes so that he kept freaking out. Well, thanks, Ricky. We got a Ricky and a Ricochet. Do you think they're the same guy? I don't know. Ricky and Ricochet and Brizzy, thanks for writing in. Keep more of it coming. You can hit us up at mailbag@fangingaround.com, or you can just go to the listener mail segment on fangingaround.com, and there's an anonymous mailer form. And you can also tweet us at fangingaround if you want to submit things for us to discuss on the show. Now it's time for Cast Corners. Campbell, I see you've got an interesting article here, The Mad Lies of Hulk Hogan. Who's read this article?
No.
No, I haven't read it.
Moving on.
Campbell wants to know, what does the expression "tear you a new arsehole" actually mean?
Yeah. What does it mean?
We want us to explain it to you.
Like, sometimes you hear tough guys say it, like it's really scary, but...
Well, you don't think it'd be scary if I said to you, Campbell, I got a knife in my hand, and by the end of the day, you're going to have 2 assholes?
Are you sure they're talking about the knife? Maybe they're talking about their
No.
penis.
Yeah.
Just going to rape him so hard that he has a second arsehole.
It's like kicking him in the ass.
Oh, we can't say that.
You can say the word arsehole, Jay. Like kicking someone in the ass. I'm going to kick your
You
ass.
can literally do that.
You could literally tear someone in your arsehole. Be tough.
Only if you cut them in like the lower digestive tract.
Yeah. Imagine punching someone through their stomach into their lower intestine. Boom.
I remember I kicked my brother so hard that my shoe got stuck up there. I got in big trouble from
Did you
my
get
mum.
it back?
I wish I could say I didn't. That would explain a lot. But no, I'm more. Does Urban Dictionary have
It's like
a?
saying I'm going to fuck you up. It's like, you're going to fuck me.
No, look, I
Yeah, but
know
why
what
of that? Why choose the arsehole? Because that it does imply that you might rape them out the ass.
Yeah, but I think it's context.
I don't.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever used it.
I've never used it myself.
Number 1 on Urban Dictionary, among the highest degrees of complete ownage, to tear someone a new arsehole is to either physically or verbally beat the living F out of an opponent or his or her arguments.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah, but
well aware
that
of
doesn't really explain.
And now they don't
what
even
it was
use
the
that-
word, though.
You know, you can get away with not saying the A word by just saying, I'm going to tear you a new one, and everyone knows what you mean. And
Yeah,
in terms
like
of,
nobody says I'm going to grow you a new dick.
yeah.
Like,
Maybe they should, Campbell.
Hmm.
By the time I'm finished with you, you'll have 2 dicks.
maybe that could be like some new comeback or something. Maybe that's the ultimate retort, kind of.
Well, I don't think having a new arsehole torn on you is good.
Whereas having 2 dicks, that's brilliant.
Is it? What are you going to do with
I
the
don't know,
second
probably
one?
not. Probably cause all sorts of social kind of distress.
You'd go on tour, wouldn't you, Harry?
Oh yeah.
Fred, what are you linking to in
I don't
your
know.
corner?
I wrote that. I was a bit drunk on Friday, and I put that on there, so I can't really explain why. I think I thought it was pretty hot.
Amelia Earhart, played by Amy Adams in Night at a Museum 2. Not 1, but 2.
I was pretty drunk, and
Did
I
you
thought,
watch this movie while you were
I
drunk?
can't remember how I stumbled on it, but I thought that's pretty hot. I should put it on the Fangin show notes. That was the complete thought train I had at that point.
So I guess
thought-
I'll put a link in the show notes. You can see Amy Adams play Amelia
I thought it was pretty hot. It was more about... I thought of a question. I thought that was pretty hot, and it was in a kids' film. So, any other unexpected hotness in kids' films?
So you don't remember if you watched the movie?
I've seen Night at the Museum, but I
2.
can't remember how I got to that YouTube clip
The
and decided
second
to put it
one?
on Fanging Around. So
Okay.
it's just there. It just is. Watch it. Don't watch it. Do whatever you want.
Now, Fred, 1 true 3. Have you prepared a...
I have not. I can't think of anything.
No, well, this is... I should have pulled you up before on the last time. You were like, oh, I can't do it. Right, but the idea being is if you're worried that the 3 of us might know what it is, then you got to think about 3 things that we know, but you just change the details just slightly to try and put us off the scent.
But I thought one of them had to be true.
Right.
So,
So
I
the other
can't
2
change
need
the
to be
details of that
almost
one.
true. Or they have to be something that we'll pick up and go familiar. Like I think Campbell on the last one when I did it, Campbell picked it straight out, which was the true one. But then I think he ended up answering a different because it was just he was in his mind. He was just sitting on the fence, going and
Have you seen the TV show that stole that idea that you stole off someone else?
Comic Book Man?
Yeah, it's a TV show.
Yeah.
No, more than comic book men. It's a TV show, like
What
an
do you
English
mean?
TV show, where they tell untrue stories, and you have to pick the true one.
Oh, right. No, you're not talking about Waltz of Flanagan's show.
No, it's like a TV show on SBS or ABC. Oh, New Zealand.
No, I have not seen it.
Well, they're out there stealing your ideas. Do you still?
What, this is a new show?
It's like a panel show, with celebrities.
Yeah, what's an interesting idea? I have another Olympics quiz. I was wondering, what's the chance of Perth ever hosting the Olympics?
0.
So I was going to ask you guys, I'm going to give you a list of cities that have not hosted the Olympics, and don't cheat by looking at Wikipedia. And you can tell me whether they've listed whether they've hosted the Olympics. Okay. So first on list is a city that's in a G20 nation, and it's rated as an Alpha Plus global city, which is the sort of one of the biggest cities in the world, and that is Shanghai. Has Shanghai ever hosted the Olympics?
No.
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 Okay. Also, a G20 and an Alpha Plus global city, Istanbul.
Yes.
Maybe.
Istanbul, Turkey.
Maybe.
Nah. No.
Yes or no? Fred?
I'm gonna say no.
It's 2 no's and a yes. Well, it's a no. Karachi, Pakistan.
No.
One of the biggest cities in
Sorry?
the world. Karachi, Pakistan.
No.
One of the,
No, I don't
I think it's like
think
the third biggest city
I'll
in the
say
world.
yes.
Yeah, but it's probably quite impoverished.
Okay. What about Mumbai, aka Bombay, India?
Probably
I'm
not.
going with
I think
yes.
that's one of the biggest cities in India and
I'd
one of the
say-
biggest countries in the world.
I'd say no.
Yes.
Harry's a yes. 2 yeses and no.
I'm saying no.
It's a no.
Yes.
Damn right. Sao Paulo, the biggest city in the southern hemisphere in Brazil.
I'd say yes.
I'm saying no.
Yes.
Campbell?
Well, they've got it next year, don't they?
Gamel's obviously busy. He says yes. I mean, he says no.
Okay. No, they haven't. Rio de Janeiro is hosting it. The next one, but I think that's the first one to be hosted in Brazil. Will be the Rio one, but that's the biggest city in the southern hemisphere. What about Delhi, India? Again,
No.
one of the biggest cities. Well, no.
No.
Tehran,
No.
Iran.
No.
No.
No. Bangalore,
No.
India.
No.
No.
New York, USA.
No.
I can't hear what you
New
say.
York, capital of New York State, USA.
New York's got enough going on.
An
They
Alpha
really need
plus
it.
plus global city.
No.
No, hasn't have it.
Hasn't had. No.
Oh, no.
No. You're right.
What's the point of your quiz?
I'm trying to work out when Perth will get it. I'm trying to give you a quiz of what other cities have.
Yeah, but they're all. A lot of them.
I'm giving you a
are-
list of the top 20 biggest cities in the world.
Yeah, but they're by population, right?
Hmm.
But that's not what they look for. They
What,
don't just
New
go on
York, USA?
population. They don't just go on population. I mean, Bangalore is probably very poor.
Now, for the
And they-
record, this is the third time London's hosted Olympics.
Yeah, but it's also a bit of a Western thing. So
Oh, so what's New York's excuse?
they probably don't want it. Have they?
They
ever
probably can't
bid?
fit it.
Where would they put it? They have enough people and enough stuff. They don't need the Olympics.
Well, they have all these professional sporting teams with huge stadiums. Surely there's...
Yeah, I just don't think they would want it.
Okay.
I mean, the cities, like places like Barcelona, want it because they want to rebuild.
Hmm.
Same with London.
Hmm.
Large bits. I don't think New York has that problem.
Lagos, Nigeria?
No. I don't think these places have the infrastructure to support the 10 million.
Lima,
tourists.
Peru.
No.
No.
Ho Chi Minh,
No.
China?
Ho Chi Minh's in Vietnam,
No.
isn't it?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it's in Vietnam.
Hong Kong?
No.
No.
Dakar?
No.
Cairo?
What?
No.
Yeah, I'm going with yes for Cairo.
Cairo?
No.
No. Hanoi?
No.
James, are you going to tell us the answers? 'Cause this is getting a little bit
He's going to
boring.
read out a list of 100 things.
Ryder, Saudi Arabia.
No, these are all poor countries. Poor countries don't really want the Olympics.
St. Petersburg.
Karatha.
Oh, they might want it. Put it in.
Yeah.
Has St. Petersburg
probably had
hosted it?
I don't know.
No.
Oh, no, Moscow.
Ankara, capital of Turkey.
No.
Tapai,
Oh,
Taiwan.
this is boring. Even I'm bored, James.
Tapai.
James, we're bored.
Boring.
If we're bored, the listeners have like turned off already.
Johannesburg, South Africa.
No.
Yokohama,
Yeah,
Japan.
Don't care anymore.
Madrid,
This
Spain.
is the worst game ever.
Yeah, you're just gonna list.
yeah,
So has Madrid,
really boring.
Spain hosted the Olympics?
Is this the last one?
I don't know.
No, I'm not playing this yet.
You're not going to answer the question. It's
No.
either yes or no.
No. The answer's
No. Buenos Aires, Argentina. No.
What's going on in Scotland, Harry?
Jakarta?
When's the next bus coming by?
It's Edinburgh Festival at the moment. It's going off. Fringe Festival. It's exciting. Walk down the streets, people everywhere. People dressed up stupid.
Jakarta, Indonesia.
No.
Chicago, USA.
cool.
That sounds pretty fun.
Houston,
Yeah.
USA.
You just walk down the main street. and it's
Toronto,
like
Canada.
people giving you free tickets to shows. Like, you can't walk down the main street without ending up with like 15 pamphlets for different
How's Bonnie's show
shows that
going?
are on. There's a show every 10 minutes,
Are you going to them all?
different parts of the city. Nah, there's a big, thick, fat book. It's about a centimetre thick, and it's just jam-packed full of different shows. You couldn't possibly see them all.
Have you tried to see as many as possible? Harry.
They reckon the average, audience at every single show, averaged, because there's so many shows, is about 3 people at each.
Have you been to a 0-person show yet? I mean, a 1? Have you been the only person?
Bonnie's
who's-
right.
Is that like an insult, Campbell? Yeah, I went to Bonnie's. I've been seeing a lot of Australian people, actually. There's quite a few Australians over here doing shows.
Well,
So you went all the way to Scotland to see some Australian comedians.
Well, yeah. As it turns out, yeah.
Brussels, Belgium.
no one cares about your game.
I don't care. Yeah, no, we've stopped talking about that, James. We're talking about Scotland.
Lisbon, Portugal.
What's the point of all this list? Just get to the point.
I'm saying these are all these amazing cities that have not hosted an Olympics.
So?
What's the chance of Perth ever hosting?
0. Move on.
It's 0, James.
We're on the Perth Olympic campaign to get it here.
Not happening. I don't want them here.
No,
this
but-
Perth's got enough shit on it.
They'd give it to the capital city.
We've hosted the
Give it
Commonwealth
to-
Games.
Like, London's had it 3 times. They didn't give it to Newcastle.
Right. London's had it 3 times, but Chicago, New York, Istanbul, Sao Paulo have never hosted it once.
Yeah.
Well, the answer is Perth's never going to get the Olympic Games, and I don't think it's like this. The public transportation system. Hi, Bryony.
Hello.
You're listening to Harry's lady friend, Bryony, famous children's author.
Brian's just been hanging out at the Writers' Festival. Did you meet me on Famous today?
Are you going to show her
Chris
Brizzy's
Riddle?
email?
Chris Riddell. I don't know how to say his name. He's just re-illustrated Neil Gaiman's Coraline book, but he's done heaps of books. It was pretty cool.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Did you see Neil Gaiman? Was he hanging out in the yurt?
No, he's not back there till later.
We met Ian Livingstone yesterday. He was awesome.
Who's Ian Livingston?
Writer of the Fighting Fantasy series. He also started up Games Workshop, and he was like the initial distributor of D&D to the UK and Europe.
Did you ask him about D&D?
Not specifically. He talked about D&D though.
Cool.
I've got
Yeah.
a new segment for the show.
And he has a games night like once a month or something with all his like games nights a bit better than
Yo,
ours.
I could imagine.
It has like
Or have you actually been to one? Or you just...
no, he was just telling us about
Ah.
his games nights.
Okay.
Like
He
you
plays.
personally, or is this a talk you went to?
Sorry?
Is this you personally, or is this like a talk you went to?
Yeah, he was talking about his new book. He's just released a new fighting fantasy book.
Oh, okay. I never read Fighting Fantasy, I have to admit.
Do you want to hear my new segment?
Yep. Was it you rattling off a list of cities again? Because I'm not keen for that.
Well, if you just played along, it wouldn't have taken that long. I'm trying to make a point of that.
Yeah, well, you made the point.
fact that London's hosted 3 times, but all these crazy cities have never even hosted it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my new segment called Welcome to the Internet. And this is where I read some choice comments from, some of our best YouTube, best Redditors out there.
Is this what? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So what do you cook over there? Is food different at the supermarkets, Harry?
Yeah, a little bit. It's hard to find good bread. All the bread's a bit shitty.
Oh, really?
Although we found a couple of bakeries that are nice. Yeah, I retract that. It used to be hard to find good bread. Now we know where to buy it. They have wicked cheese. They've got so much cheese.
I didn't think the Scottish was known for their cheese.
Well, I suppose not much of it is Scottish cheese. There's a lot of like English and French cheese.
Right.
There's just cheese everywhere. There's like shops that just sell cheese and they stink.
How's the beer situation?
They have fantastic beer as well. Lots of beer, and it's cheap. You can get a pint in a pub for like £3, which is like $4.50.
I was buying $16.50 pints at the Belgian Beer Cafe a few nights ago.
$16.
You bought more than one?
It was a wedding celebration, so I proceeded to get super drunk.
Fremanda or whatever they are.
Timanda.
How'd that go to their wedding?
It was good. I wore a suit. I got really
that's what
drunk,
suit
and
is
I
for.
spent all Friday morning vomiting my guts out.
So that 16.50 bites didn't...
Nice.
It added up.
Did you mix drinks?
I mixed the shit out of my drinks. I was pretty much out of control. I will admit it.
So is that it? Is that like Fangin' Around
Is that
done? for
Fangin'
the day?
Around done?
Did
Yeah.
we reach the end of our...
No, I've got my
No.
whole new segment.
What's your segment?
Is it lyrics interpretation?
Yeah, we've got a good one for lyrics interpretation. Suggested by a user, I think.
Which user?
Actually, I can't remember.
Oh,
They-
James, this is bad fan service.
James, is this more listener mail that you've been...
Yeah, so this is why I want
No.
access to mailbag, because
You
this keeps
have-
getting censored.
You have access to it, you just don't use it. I've taught you how to do it. You
Oh,
just,
you have access to it? You
yeah.
just don't
Now
know
that
you
you're
have
getting
access
half-naked pictures of him, you're suddenly interested in being part of the podcast organization. You're, yeah, typical.
to it. No, we've always wanted...
Yeah, because you've always been censoring the fan mail, because Zoe was tweeting and she didn't get through.
No, she has never sent us an email.
Have you been hitting up the chip shops, Harry?
I have yet to have a fish supper, Fred.
Ah!
Or a deep-fried Mars bar.
I haven't had anything deep fried.
Harry. I guess you got to wait till winter.
Yeah, I figure. But I mean, fish supper, that's a summer dish.
Is it? Yeah. What are you eating?
Sit by the beach.
Apparently, I thought... Well, my uncle's saying that some parts of Scotland, in Glasgow, have the worst diet of the Western world.
Yeah, I believe that.
So you should get into it, Harry.
I think Glasgow's probably a step down.
Ah.
Edinburgh's posh.
So you've already gone in... I
Edinburgh's
thought your dad's family was from Glasgow.
Yeah,
You've already gone Edinburgh on him.
yeah, afraid so. I'm not bagging the Glaswegians. I'm just saying,
That you
probably
prefer...
get the
That
same
you prefer
standard
Edinburgh.
food in Edinburgh as you do in Glasgow.
Yeah, I suppose.
They probably don't quite perfected the deep fried Mars bar quite as well as they can get one in Glasgow.
True.
But Campbell's gone,
I'd say we
listeners.
just call it a night.
No, I'm going to call it a night as well.
I'm going to call it a night too. You can finish off the show notes without
You can just
me.
talk into the microphone.
No.
See you, Harry.
Thanks for joining in. See you, Fred.
I'm sorry, listeners. You can tweet at Campbell White, at Fred Baines, or at Harry_yeah, and complain that
Complain
you
about
don't
the
get
quality
the
of the
rest
show.
of the show.
That's building up viewers for next week. They know we've got show notes. Coming up
Why will they turn up next week if we don't even do a full show?
No, because to next week we're going to
We
start...
haven't even done a show in 2 weeks, and we're not even doing a full show. This is my new segment, okay? This is Welcome to the Internet. This is a comment from Reddit that I've got. Sometimes a situation just gets too effed up and you have to bail. 6 years ago, I used to have an odd fetish where I dress up like a tomboy lesbian, hoodie, jeans, just enough makeup to make me look like a woman, go into the woman's bathroom at the mall food court, enter a stall and lightly rub my erect penis and then rub a small amount of pre-cum onto the toilet paper in each stall, enough that you'd notice it if you were looking for it, but otherwise imperceptible. Then pretend to check my makeup until a woman entered a stall. If she was unattractive, I would wait until she was finished and reapply pre-cum. If she was hot, I would enter a stall and listen to her and silently masturbate to the sounds she made, and the fact that at least a few hundred of my sperm were making contact with her labia and vagina, and sometimes anus. And how horrified she would be if she knew this. I would then finish,
James, I think this
squeeze my penis.
This is why we have
list.
This is the internet. I'm just educating users about what's on Reddit. If you, this has got 720 points on Reddit. I would then finish, squeeze my penis so my cum dribbled out into a weight of toilet paper instead of shooting everywhere, then follow her out to secretly take cell phone pictures of her so that I could jerk off to them later. I did this about 9 times over 3 days, but a week later I turned 18 and realized that if I got caught, I wouldn't get just a slap on the wrist, and my identity and what I did would have made the news instead of being legally suppressed because I was a minor. I'd never cummed harder in my life and hated giving up such a great thing, but like the op, I knew it was time to move on. Op is the original poster. This is the comment he made in reply to a guy who slept with the mum of his girlfriend.
And what's the question or relevance of this?
No, I just want this each week. I'm going to read out
That's it. You're just going to read it out
from the internet, and you can just experience the internet it's like an audiobook of the internet. That's what I'm doing. So that's my new segment. Welcome to the internet.
You just read something fucked up off the internet.
Yep. And not just like from some dodgy porn site, from like Reddit.
Oh, because,
Yeah.
there's bits of the internet that is just totally normal.
Yeah. Let us know, mailbag@fangaround.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter as Fangaround.
Hit it up.
Find everything you need to know about us at fangaround.com. This has been the Fangaround podcast. We'll catch you later.
See you people.
See ya.
Bye.